all right. We are live again today. Thank you, those people who have already joined the U-Turn. Welcome to the U-Turn Talk Show. As usual, this platform is a platform that is empowering our communities through sharing of information in a way that is friendly, storytelling, constructive dialogue, and guided action as well. So usually we aim to actually impact social change, economic empowerment for youth and women, and also encourage entrepreneurship and innovation. So thank you always for supporting this conversation. Please share our live show. Those people who are already here. Today is a very important day. We have our very esteemed U10 top fan, Awan Kuol, who is our top guest today to actually help us understand the topic of incentive systems. To New Weekend, most of us go from different cultures, background, to the West. I think this conversation will be more relevant to those South Sudanese who are in diaspora and our allies. But of course, there's so much relevant to even the context back home, as you know our global system, economic system, incentivized everywhere. And sometimes what chat up one quick, and that is why information sharing is very important. And today, Awan Kuol will guide us as our top guest. One Alakir, also my co-host on the show. Alakir, welcome. Looking forward to this great discussion. Without further ado, please click share button, and then we'll start with Awan. Awan Kuol, welcome again, all the way from Australia. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Here.
Thank you for the program, and thank you, Lakira Deng, and thank you, we cook a die na channel, Pia, the natural youth and Gene, where you will let it die and we die out of the other typing to our core, we are people do it. Kibelu Wajam, the topic is very important, very relevant, can walk at the thing. Pan Kawaja, which pan Africa too, but our Tangana Kaira Loyal work, so can Ben Wajam thing. Ben when you live up a share or Wajam, based on Kajuba Queen and the librarians, and Kajuja Queen thing, and a Queen getting top unit in HR sociology or dependent community development. Kaiban get Yamtina, Tung Kanaka, the Kaira Lui walk, Koka economics issues, Koka sociological issues. We are mutual incentive. We can have boot Telegama, boot Redicana, a data no round, really at some waja, but I got the Yan Coin, Yanaka Cherokee in Coin. Kuga no gaiga la yo mi ti de yin che tian gene mi gene yo ngai to chu kene ka bu re jari da lui ro ga cha ku mai po mana ru yo ku mai po che ga ti ko bara no ge tian tin kene ka ben wa jam tin ye ge yu choi incentive of family destruction ka woni ga yen bai families ku ka families a yi ga la yo che na ka ge kene ga nya la de ja kene ka ben wa jam tin na yi ke yo ka ni ka no ge le bi yo ba ma de ko ya very careful where kene ya dang apya da non ko to ke young families upya da ya dang non ko kene ke tia ko kin ti go ke nin pal rin na lo ran ne lem pa ne be ki very careful for this incentive ka ko ben wo ke jam tin bang na kuma ku ya organization ya dang so bu re jama ku ya base ya dang ne be kene ka chu ko ne dang no references book be gama la ben we ke date no not under no further study school. If topic is very relevant in America, Canada, Australia. Panaka waja by the way to one system. So nacho we hear one different continents ke system de net of ben. You will be let naga lu get no jam on Australian context. But as similar can calculate Panicho Canada, America, UK, New Zealand say the same. Kaga allow manaka lela Africa. Kaka ben wa ke jam tin. Je bai wa ji ga ga wa chi beto ta na biwo ku ke ne en ja bu ke we ko ya dan du ke je ba de dang ga de lu ke de ko la de ji taman de na no ke ro ko lu lo no ke de o ke ni ar ke ti we che bu ko la le ba la yo nyal ko lo le nge ke ya me ke je a chen ke personal te e general conversations so ka je mo ke na ka lu ko mo ko to in the same situation te wo tin ke chen na particular group or fair or an particular gender has been wo ke jam tin era la ban included wo ke ya
Thank you so much. And what we judge. So one about Golly, like Kirin, we could do well too. But I just want to to ask you, one comment in a goal to what is this incentive? What does it mean? And why is it even important? I said, goal to, yeah, I want you to really go deep into it. Why is it important that we are talking about it today? You can get your incentive, get your new thing, and go deep talk. We'll have a Jawari to here.
để mà chụp cái đều ở đây yên cái cái coi qua cái này cái bên ngoài giảm thì walk about Nepal majority of koi no ke born in South Sudan or ke Japan agere tene ke born Africa wo ke tene refugee camp is da ko li ka ke bo ke to ke kin ko la refugees camp but wo ke to refugee camp ko pire wo ta da welfare or UN United Nations ke dependent so we depending on ki UN yen wo ban ku ke ne yen a chen wo ben tina no ko ben tina ne tene ga chu bi yo to ke tene no the same similar program ta pa na ka waja ka yu be cho incentive a ka chir man wo ye ga yen pa ta ga chir man yi ke cho bai ga ku mai ga yen pa a ga ye ku mai ga yen ko or organization ro lo che ko ni ke yin bara no ga ti ar ko la de ta man ko pa der wa kana ben wo jam tin ka ben wo ga jam tin a ga chir man ga ka ga yen pa ke cho social welfare da man bi wo ta ni wo ke bo man ja lo wo ke pi di wen chin wo ga yin cái chir ka yu ga cham ben ga chan ko ye ta le bang UN ake ko mi ko ya ka pya da ri no na bo ko ba ite ne wo bo ko yu ka ku mai dang no ga ye gen ko ya dang ko ru pinga pya da ya pya bare ka chi wo be der yo ko ga ben wo ga jam tin ke gori di ko ne te ya ro ti mo le chi ro lo ti ka ya go ko ba ga jam ba ga ya nyin aga chiru man one be what in Australia I bought in 2006 so anje to ga chire 18 years ne 18 years now one be what and walk a book no ma ju ere chu yo ga chi ko ma amene na jure ko ban ga jam tena jure ke loy e go koy ke ben bu gara sato da man ko ke te ta laja o te ka chira ma de o ko gut ka kuma wo ke yen ka chira ma de ya gana ke te pa ni mattresses yi ka ka tar ben ko ke da ke te pa ka te ko da Australia I believe ke the alloy Canada it was a
Yeah.
really very good program ko koy ke garani bana ke department ka kuma go ya ga pia da rete có gì đang cái miếng cho vô cả cũng mà đến cho social security welfare. I remember when you were in Australia, then you get $150 cho bây giờ cái tiền account đi. Now là bank
Oh,
account đi
wow.
là you đó cái theo account. Yes, anh bố can ngồi chơi cái lần thôi cái nó cái gì. So cái bữa nay
Again,
na
to
tawala
very few go one war bi wo ka
cái
di mo yo ku le ka ke lu go welcome chicken to ben ben yo go la ka chi ni cha yo.
cái bữa đấy cái bữa chín nó nó tao mình cái này mua cái kiếm con luyện á thì mình chỉ cái bữa cái kaka
Yeah.
chen wa ko bela tin ko ai ko go ya chir ke piat ba na ban ha jam tin ka chir go cái chế bu bu wo tin cái chế cái nên wa conversation chire kan incentive cái chế bia ka pya dari ti ji ko ran ban go ban ya re ran ban chon bi ja but cái bi ko wo cái bi wo che bi wo bu ko chan bu jan bi tu ja wa mi chen ke bi wa a kan ga dia ki mana go lan ja le ba Australia cái economic development country ko ai ju ja ga wan yo ke de cho refugee program ben ko ja be in especially Eastern European and Italian to ni ga the Greeks ke bay on chi second world war ga bay ga yo kan a ke bi ka ba it ne chan na go ko be lu chan economy pan kan farming e kwi chol por nge to ko ga por e chin machine ke to dam ne ba da man ne a chi bi ha ka chi bi ha lu ya dan du mi tu ke de machine ya dan factories a chi ja go ban go bi economy pan go be ja ko ya ko ke bi wan bi wo ke na no loy ke chi chen ko lu tin ti man yi to me yi lo ne y lo chile ka lo ka ye mu ko dir mana chi ja ban ya cha big business bare por nya da man ka ga ka bi ko wo ka chana bu bu lu so that we can contribute to the economic development of this country chứ mà đi hút bu ka ju mà ko ya wo ka yu bo ka ga ka bi ko ko ka kon me pa ba bu cho re so that was one of the reason that you walked in kene ye na kim ku ba tin ya chu tin yin fi ko an je ko ni go ko ju yo ni mo le na chi be lu man chan ja ne u che na ku ga ka ya fi da kena ci bula sukuli ne ga sukuli kena ci bi jari bai da wale go ya lo ci ka pya na wan wa ka bi ja da ko ko ben ga ne le la ka no ko ben wa ga jam tin ka ci bri yo wa ka be da ya na ci wa yin u ti nga u ci yu ko bai da we ka kuma pa na ka wa ja che da be ben smart ai ka calculate pe ka ye ki spend go ka ba ka bi ba ka cham go ya bill go ya ka renting because ben kena ci yu ko ben da wale na wan le yin ya ga kwa bia da no ko ra ne to to Africa yi ti ko mo ja to ko 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 da chief conflict cho bay rồi ngon cái phải đòi khen cái này chỉ nó có chú chặt cái người có coi coi cái mà chặt là bay hiện nay đang cầm man còn cái nó của Iran trong cái nông dân family cái vụ con ai cái cúm ai chơi cái bài chơi chính như này chẳng quay chơi so cái theo cái bên nó bữa cái là đó là cái đào cái chuyện của bây giờ của nó bị cái điểm của nó cũng bị cái bây giờ chơi cái đó mà cái bữa đó cái việc nó mà cái cost of living là chỉ là cái này à cũng phải đào cái này trên cái cho explosion of divorce chỉ biết điều cái cho cái cái quay quẹt đấy cái này cho là cũng mày yên cái chỗ ở đang là chiếu cũng mà bên lối ở đang na nong cha chin po chin yen wuji chen ni chin na single chin yen wuji cái này chỉ có bất chính là cái này this is a good system na ji yen wuji cái pya na re ko ga je ran ko be ala registered cái single ko ka re to in relationship kaka a chi belen đang issues cái này có ka ku mai ko la ku ma ba ne very smart chin cái ko je ko dom ni nó có cái dom ni mà jam nó ga ko ku ma cái yani cái chỗ ấy đang families có cả bố what's the point of like any relationship chỉ cần bên phải chỗ là cái bố quê nó cái này cho financial abuse one of domestic violence nó là nhà bố quê control bên ngoài những cái chỗ ấy đang ngoài na tôi đi Africa we can đi vào nó về tôi cái mà chắc là còn rồi đấy cả cái coi qua chỉ cái cho single parenthood chỉ bị cho đi rồi đấy cú cả nó không thể lôi cái đấy đang cái chuyện lôi đó là 2006 nó làm Australian contact by the way của đấy similar cái chuyện lôi America watch bên đang vừa chiếu cũng mà có bây giờ bị na cái đó bị phải đến cái gì nữa buồn cái gì bị cái ai khi lôi kawaja and kawaja cho European có cái population đó nó có lập kawaja rồi you that by 2050 we are a numerical minority còn nó là đi cho Ben Wittenberg cái one of the a sociologist, well, one of the advisors to the president of the United States of America. He advised a lot of presidents, including Barack Obama. Ukaga yagala ke how to boost up the population of Korea. One of the races of Korea and Korea. So ye na ye yoga population of Korea but do it go really ye na ye di hari dum woman habit the rate. So what they did then ke je ga kuma go Australia ko Canada ko janga ko America ha ti di hari ya dum da man 806 278. Now just take actual baby bonus and you $5,000. Beautiful. And population that would need it better. So what anyway did can yeah like you đang issues with that. Population that you would use because of living at you land go can go by that it. You think? E ka ko ko now le ka waja tinka waja chi di ko ka di go man go tien to. E chi mara chi betam. I incentive cái nhân có cái chuyện về cái là về cái đó là về cái will anh không có cái chiều quay là dating để cái nhân có cái habitual cái đó forever và đến cái gì cái là giá cho anh bây giờ là chỉ mới đi à như vậy nên cái chỗ này đến chuyện nào chỗ cái gì rồi mà bắt đuôi chiến before cái incentive cái chuyện incentive cái families cái family này single cái pi đoạt ra rồi before in 1950s 60s and even 70s really 2000 peer ne ran to cái rồi ku kana ko be afford for that chan beneng services yo yen ko to ke ran ke single to ku aban bu to ba berin ku na ran ma ka bela ku ne cha kong le cha kong le ko re cho single but not alone by the council of single mothers in Japan and kada their children the man going to be single to ala ke mi ko ajat ke kin lo gam for adoption because things were very difficult for you he cannot afford but it to pa ja ke chen mar men ko now 2000 okay na chen support it be ja di no single parent which is not a bad thing it's a good thing good system can actually families be empowered and go families that will be cannot support it financial instead financial incentive with them and can go be other women have to fight and do ya ko ya ke ko ya ko the only solution you gama mi ga you gam for adoption go like ko system then incentive we ko finance a ko rich people and businesses ko kuma chane na go na go ko mo pin ko ngom ga ju chare dan ko only 10% kind of wealth so in order for them to maintain themselves because they have to be ko big ya yin wo o ke che ko mo big ya yin wo chana go na ka mo ni pe nong cái man ko lo by 2020 by 2030 2040 actual UBI actual universal basic income incentive chỉ cái gì mà tin cái universal basic income nó ra nó cho là Andrew Yang khai được là cái Joe Biden là chỉ bố gỡ bố cho the war on normal people Andrew Yang là chỉ bố người gỡ của giam bảo cái này cho universal basic income gì là mà sai lo là universal high income I don't know how high that income would be, but we'll see. The universal basic income is similar to the incentive financial incentive whereby very cut who can't watch a program. There are certain items you cannot buy. You can only buy certain item. Yen baga waje kan gan we need to be real we are helping about. When I in castrated financially, in chiaran the deal. Kachira can get your will or chan baga de baguation, or you go abata under that category whereby in a much go call thing a pia that it did. I think it's all conflict actually fuel in our families. It's all financial, it's all economic deprivations whereby no partners be abused in their relationship. Who are kin can be on the other because of living at your local level. Bay you quite aware because of misunderstanding. Another thing, Chirabului walk a dunkaman. I mean, people, Akabea, dome, with the Chiraka, and quite dome cut. Then I check your pandun kila yen, pan of Puma. We love support woke up. So a lot of kids are here and when I man will wouldn't be in Chila people and we party. You got your abuse, but all report and your abuse or go jet to layer like your pound. Manajam one of get your residential care. Tom and get big industry and we for you. Me juji ke jan del chire ke ne randera dom pu le chok yong bai e bla nang num lao de pan num lao chi bla yu e deng de me e tong e se je ne ga mu su le yen ku ja ka yu ke bla ya incentive chire ga ka koi ke tatin wo koi ke pan cho no koi cho social workers they did a bit of destruction in our community alula aboriginal na pi jo ga na cho ga ke follow it one of the aboriginal historian and lecturer at Victoria University alula koi cho lawyers ku social worker the little way aboriginal people are chugan ya le community that yo kare ke ga ke ya ko ya le ka ko social worker se ke ke lo ye bam da man ke a ke ko la ne ka che yi wo ke je yo pa ai tu kon bi ko ba de lo le ke ti ku mo ku ju ke ti ku me ku ju ke ga number 1 me ne ke ne ka ken pi so go ko bi go pi ne da wala lora ma chakla na jibetu ko ga ke chap be ran ke chan bu neng sin sen ti ga ku ba ke yo da pa na ku ma baran gar ko ga dir yin na ra je mo ko la le ke yo le la gar mun ju ko be ni yen pa na ku ma akin be la so ko ju ja ke ran we are lie to the system in order for you to get what you want ku ke na kin be opya no ko ko le ke ran we ka de ke ran we le la no ma ran le ko wa community in Africa ka ga mi ko go ti go bo ye jam no jo ye jam je luen ko le no bi wa fa na Africa na bo ne mi ke mo ye ko mi pio wa ga no le na an da le bo ye ke an ko le la ba ai tu mo bi lu ke de ke cho ro ra wa li ni ke no ga no la no ni no la ba ai tu le na ko do wa ta ro bu ni to ala bo cho ro cho la ko go ko bo ne da wa jo ye le na le chi nyai da wa le ten go mi ko no nya di tu na chi no ya le pande kana mwinde kaka kimbe la pia winto ka chibulo la sigili kada chilo la drake de ne ya danga chi jana chi to ka ni ne nya to ka ni alwe le yana mana alwe na very rich woman ma alwe na wali to the ma account ku moja chibi jale do wanjero ko joro ko mojo ticket te wan we le rafa ka chibela ba so alwe na alwe to the ma account ke ku ja men to alwe ku bil ko ba na cho ya alwe na boka no ko pande to together wane happy wane pande alwe ko man ja wane lo alwe na alwe to the ma ne cha rich kwan che because van dia churi ya ke that mistake what chiri ko ya for an well I incentive ti ke ga yen ko chiri na chi ja winga ya ka ko ablo pya akin do lo pya no ko ene ke te chera bul wa ti u kana ga ju er lo ro da ben wa ba jama ne ye ko ke working behind the scene bi ke chiri ke lo ku ye ka go chiri lo plan ke che ku ma ke lo ke ne ko ke thoi chu ke ne ko chiri ma ne rich people ka globalist kakao ban cái bề giảm thế nào với cái tin đây là bạn highlight by you way cái chơi đối của fan Australia I believe cái chơi đối Canada của Australia của America Canada cái này của New Zealand ở cái UK anh chỉ lo cái là UK chơi the same system ở là UK cái tí cái dân phải cũng mà cái nông quay được với là dating lấy cái coi chơi lấy coi quan lấy cái bay lấy cái yêu ala kirwan cái nào nào feel free to jump on into ask any question or to add anything please thank you.
No, thank you so much. And I welcome copy Ben to the show. Welcome. KGM work today. What about incentive system? To either pinyari and one quality narrate some of the government financial incentive or economic incentive, and to mention how they don't take impact on our on families and our communities. I totally agree with you. One the same incentive based system at Biden in Canada. So the system either to Australia or US or Canada or UK. It took. And even globally, and I think Abba Yena Lakir to share her experience, her perspective of how those incentives, even women who are to work Akuma refugee camp, there are incentives and they have good positive impact and negative impact as well.
True.
It depends on teacher and lumping or teacher lumping and how they are being used. So Alaki, take it away. Why this conversation is important and what do you understand by incentive? And if you have any further follow up now, one call, please go ahead.
Thank you. Yake NP?
Yes.
In people are
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So for sure, incentive are used to encourage certain behavior in people, and it's not just Canada like their own citizen, but it's all do it's all international relations, the global strategy, but allow into the new way of order and what that looks like. And then going the the table, making decisions, having specific desired outcomes, and then they instruct everyone else to do as they say. I was they call it beneficiary of an incentive system, and if you want to call it something, it's called feminism, and that's women empowerment and children and girls empowerment. So, Pana, in addition to the welfare system of providing food, shelter, and other things, earning incentivized system of making sure girls have gone to school. I'm happy to report that it was a good experience for myself. And my experience Kakuma, definitely that was a good thing that had happened to me. So HR key program is I think every partner can while University Services of Canada, and they focus on global youth empowerment, education, economic, and there's another E. Rhoda, if you know it, let me know. But there's economic empowerment, education, and there's
Employment.
employment empowerment. So those are the three pillars of how it works. So yen ache chilapan kakuma ku ache going to do research and to see, because at the beginning there would be 5 girls in a class and there would be 20 or 50 boys. So there was that inequality for sure, and I have seen it myself. So they thought, how would we encourage more girls? Because Ben college, and they what they came up with, they look at sukar, look at bala, look at sanitary pads, look at sabun. And my first time I received those was in class 5, and it definitely worked. Although incentive for myself, a Venice college, okay, incentive for Kochi Dongba, because Kochi Akor sukar bake dek shy. And if I go to school 20 days a month out of 30 or however many days in college, then I would make sure attendance is good. Make sure the anti sukarete bye because next time I would make sure anti karet woiga lamba, and the lamp you take it home with you. So obviously na lamba cha bye and with the akin kata we will use it together, right? So my perspective there, incentive, a good thing. It changed my life. It made sure I came to Canada later on, and I went on to get a higher education.
yeah.
Given my financial background or economic background, that would not be possible in a world without incentivizing education, economic empowerment, and that is a positive thing. Now, Kita Jab and Learn what in Canada, there are several social services, HR social service. So there is like employment, Achala with key employment for a while, you can apply to get some support, but barely covering your necessities. There's disability, there's a child tax credit. It's not really your given money. You are, depending on your income, you are given back some of the tax you paid to the government. So just to clarify that incentives, no, you have to work and contribute to the system, and then based on your circumstances, then you get some of it back. Now, I ran in or I ran a single income household, you would get a certain tax credit back into your bank account. And our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is always announcing, okay, now child credit will be deposited this day. All the mothers will get hundreds of dollars in their account. Maybe a 100, maybe a 200. But Naira is smart, and you know exactly what is the intention behind these incentives, and you use it, in a way that benefits you. Then it works out. But I will I will live my life so I can have social service for life. Then in the long term, it's you could take, for example, the welfare system in Canada, or the social housing. Yene family ay yen by kuma ache yen ke kabat ayen ke below the housing rate. So market housing rate is high, and then the social housing actually incentivized by the government. And the incentivizing works like, okay, ran somebody developer to buy a loy, and this number of units I actually promised to the government are bigger used for social housing. Now, this money is paid by the government to the developer who are already. So now your rent can be lower. But it is tied to your financial ability. Now, lot about certain line bawanum to buy a jet. So, Kokwa, of course,
Yeah, I think Roma and we are
of
but now
course,
would you
rather be intentionally work less. Achana chi buy chi biyor. Lakini, kichi loke ni migin. And that's what I would strongly encourage Iran Makala in the system, no matter what. If you are capable and you can work, never do that, especially if you are planning to have a family. Here, a lawyer kid, the method expenses as the child grows, they go up. The line of poverty actually draw, it doesn't go up. So you would want to go work hard at and man buy in better life than you had. But a business number below,
True.
okay, since you are working hard, you don't need our support. Just give us back the house, book year and then so then why would you lock yourself in jail? Bainam Theo economically in a jail where you cannot do more because you fear that certain benefits are becoming, right? But yeah, I completely agree. Now, Chirangela, along with different interests or without understanding exactly why that was done, it's very harmful, especially for the future of yourself and your children. Because now I can only work hard, and I'll come back to the retirement HR Canada pension plan. So I can only work a certain number of I can know can go low who can Canada pension plan can be achi kuladia babalu retire kitchen would you yeah,
Super
ki
HR
mu ja
superannuation
ko
fund.
bin kalu retire. Chi bu lo yi chi dio. So why would you want to work less now that you're capable, and then later on have to work kain chi dio? So chiang wan ba lui man dio, lum extra shift, lum 2 job or 3 job, and make sure you retire comfortably. Yeah, that's what I can add. If there's anything else, Jawan, kala
Thank
baja
you.
No, I'm with do nangin and one call. But thank you, Lucky. Raja chuje got you from Kakuma, incentive and just to chime in from policy perspective. Uh, those things they were not given to you to encourage there is a big policy goal that you have accomplished. So you lu encourage panduna lu encourage yen sukar tin ben ke ala de madida ba bigi cholo sukule. So you now you are not you will focus in school. In Tibidol, Louis fall into year early marriage and Bala Louis Kakuma, children that you cannot take care of and contribute to global poverty and stuff. So you end up succeeding. So you achieve the global agenda, the personal agenda, and family agenda, and that incentive work perfectly. Someone else might not don't understand those things and how they play will think that akoka kom ni arwok ani alajin but actually ni arkalajin. So ani arot because the more people the more poor people overwhelmed and the more you topple the economy. So about Paulton, one quality jam this incentive system are distraction to families and to communities. Y'all are dying into deep. How do they affect our families? How do they affect our communities? And but
Very good.
one by one, because that I see many people commenting John cigarette. in chatting, Jurkuj, in chatting. Thank you for contributing to this conversation, and also put your thought in the comment section. You know, why are these incentives there, and what is their motivation? How are they destroying ourselves, our families, and our communities? And how are they building us? Take it away, Awan.
Thank you very much. I know which I got an accounting no the Chenegor I can't wait. I'm waiting to see to hear ke loy ke Iowa good contribute the lawyers and are contributing to the destruction of the families in Australia. Very, very good question. Inja lecha, brother. Yen ke chira lawyer ke kugachi only koichul ka pa cha aboriginal chira lawyer ke kuja ke ko ngomban. Lawyers are legal advocate of the system, of course. Your system are equal conform to work for the system, and they always support the system, of course, regardless. Because so everything when you think of it on your own perspective. Okay, die zaman de on koke. We are man lawyers also benefit from these issues. 19 issues, you know, lawyer that I can enjoy. So a lawyer can lawyer when lawyer. A lot of the cases the KBI end up in court and on work. Okay, okay, she taught them. Okay, lawyers can be contributing to the point like lawyer be advocate around the pitch, you can go and lie as much as you like in order to get you what you want. A lot of family destruction, lawyer the community that you can because in and I caught a your own ego. Ukachila could a lawyer appeal the court ben lawyer to call it as long as they fit the narrative and also fit within the system. System they know how to navigate the system because in order for them to give their client what the client wants. So can I a lawyer really did not work whereby families you cheat check taking care of the alwele ne mo go tel amar ne ko bara bele arpe gete now go mo jo mai rawal mo jo mai rawal case di tar ti na ne mo jo mai after 7 years I told a band go gero to go le na ne tir so it was just a lie to get what you want of that relationship so yeah quite a bit families to be destroyed in such a way that actually like do live social workers I remember them on a be working akera ka ke wala porto go sukuli ake ke twen go sukuli bi wala chor bi wala jam cái này cái này cái gì đó cái gì đó cái này là nó nong nhiều lắm cái vô phim nó lên bên là coi như cái này so na chơi fan nó chơi là well cầu đó là chơi là of course kin đó je nyai fan nó đó là cái yen cái kun ka kuma en cái chỗ cái đang anh chơi acha được chin family chiga abuse of course anong roji chimni cái chimni yan ba ko nyama na sa ba kuma mu bi to the point like that I don't need to pay child support too because yeah akuma da do no kan do ke no kan do yo ko ni ai mana ya raga yi ya yi do ko ba yi use man ke excuse mana sa ko le ye na akuma da do anong ko ni che cái yen so an chi lo ba chat pa child support to the point like ga ko ko wara ra ne ra mo pe a chi ko be lui ko na lui da wala ka bere yi bere wuju ya bere chat avera via chat when you so for the chill we can go down within the system can get ala kill well can along range na chat ya yi kina go kan chi be wa ship list or go kun ko wa so can I chen na do ba ala mo pi jana go to the same category then can ku ko ke to welfare chen ma no ko no incentive ke cha ga holiday chi ke lo ki jo ba ti je la no ko cho la original ba na ko nya kuma a chi la holiday kuna corporate man ba ticket tem kula holiday bare kuna kuma lo ga tem to ala ka chi be lo la bin chin so in the condition but within the box ano ko ke trust certain areas out of minute 2006 or ake loy ke ba ite no ke ka ke olympic 1950 I think loy ke ne bare na akin ke ba gir ga chen ko ba ta ti ku ke ne ko corporate jam ba la up to the pe ga chi le ba cannot afford who going to comfortable in that area because the area going to get area you think who you try to hitting the ship and tell you look at German occasional gentrification on Chile areas which gentrified in 2006, 7, 8. Who are you có gì giảm luôn ấy đến bên coi bên cái wear go thì đó có gì giảm wear đó chỉ coi wear đó có cái cũng là nhìn thấy gặp mà có thấy gặp mà cái anh chị hôn trên cái là thì là trên jobs anh chị other services bigger đó là you ukabla mam so abela du chen ka ko ka chi be dala yo kana ko so e dul chen ko bi aware pe ken system ya lul ken the system de no ko yen incentive ken dul yen ko wen ko chan ko ka won ke chan ni jira ba na ta wo ga li so la de bi ga mu ga bi ga gen pa na so ke ya ko ro lul ke so na chi ga de no gra de chi ti bang a kuma ken system ken a yellow especially local government involved in this planning a lot nge chowe state ya dan kaman ku ja the organizations lui kene ke ko ka ke mana aboriginal mana nan ko lui kene ke nge chow South Sudanese Australian organization that are working for community for a very long time ko ka mana chiro lo ke expert mana ku ka ju ke loy mana ka ju collect data e la ku yina kuma ga ka policies la loy so policies ka ka loy da mana bi ko ka big disadvantage ku yene ya dan ka ga jalwel kene ke ne kiti ne ka jobi ke ka ka aya economic status do anything ko en mon ka ye dodge disadvantage because of Australia ko people are very poor economically simply because in working businesses like it doesn't matter how much you work ayin jabu and we don't need and jam kind of community I'm not talking about individual not for individual or doing well but I check jam in the entire community có duy qua trên business lui cái theo chi cái credit bên cái coin one ông chi đàn ông tôi chắc phải cái này u quay về nhà ta tôi bên ini cái chỗ cái đang kaman majority of you qua trên đi lấy lỗi của dia đấy đang kaman cái có duy giá cái dùng cái liberated so cái bên ngoài jam tin là cái tôi cái cho economic liberation how to liberate ourselves economically so that we can become of this incentive system to design can có duy qua mà nó by the way à nó cái dàn thì nó mà tại chứ giá realize that the system cái này lưu có mua nhiều bịch của cái dòng work nên cái chuyện có gì bây giờ là cái mà giá mà nó cái families mà nó chỉ more stable than ever because on cái families work cái stable because on cái có giá cái rate on cái you that you can manage by yourself but now chỉ giá ra anything cái này add something to this from 1800 to 1970s cái natural cost of living at nó bị của cái cho một cái giờ là đi đến cái là nó cái là cái ran trong our Bible you can live but after 1970s when the general policies cái bên lối cái cho cost of living cái là nhau minimum wage care about the to the point so now in a generation era when you get them on the feminist era cái cho feminist cái revolutions but cái chỉ biết tiếng cái coi chứ cái này bên nó làm bên cho nó lùi bên đó là này cái đó nó là we are good for the government because of this taxes up increase diaraga bi jola te loy ko laro te loy ye ga la lui ben awa 7 8 hours ben we ga la lui mi raga jora ga le so kulli ko la moni pe so kulle da man dite ala ben la ran ben pe cha ta and by the way cause of living a jalan that's why can I a lot of distress at your bay ko ja ke chol family ke family conflicts at your ga re because kan wo ji ka da ka ba ke we ga da lo la ke bang la se ti bi chi wo cake bite and có tất cả tiếng gì nữa cái với cái miếng trên đó nó chỉ là nòng nó chỉ là nồi ăn lên các cái là phê từ đó phê cái gì nữa phải đào từng so các cái gói quà chỉ có gì là chưa có quá giờ đấy thì chỉ là chỉ cái cho family breakdown chưa bây giờ chưa cho đi đấy bây giờ cái đấy cho family reform laws còn chưa có pass các whereby divorce chỉ bị ai cho cái gì là nhau nó bung cái chuyện của là cái là cái chuyện đòi duy ra các cái là chỉ biết thì because that was the depopulation agenda 1970 by the way in cái lối cái đấy cho world depopulation agendas now là cho Henry Kissinger he có duy trì cái secretary of United States of America he commissions a population reduction strategy called National Security Studies Memorandum 200 and SSM 200. A document, a classified document you can read it on now. To be available now around for us. Developed countries, I think they are restored the security of the United States of America. So they were working to reduce the population. In the get your they tried to put a population to reducing situation in a kawaja move joma. A lot of kawaja move job. I don't know one of my colleagues was four lake it and get a lot of the number of because financially you can look at the child care financial risk. Can I just call you pitch each other? Who can in a lawyer benefit divorce when a child excessive? Can in a go lawyer, a go population a go take because kwa ji po ache bedi. A ke chi jang ni mane ke chir ke lawyer bu mane kwa ja ke je po win ji ti win ti. Ni ke chi ni. So population they kor betek ku in ke ting che system of kor ba nang ni go go dia. And now don't need to go to Jacob and I small can you but I don't go. No, they don't. Oh my god, I ran a surprise. And the question is, how do you manage? Okay, like you would we really would because yeah, like shaming you by shaming you. You call it and a book like big at the population book. Australia manasa. Before even Australia that the number one problem in the 21st century, before all other financial crises, war and COVID, overpopulation. The world is overpopulated according to them. And they're thinking by 2050, the world population will reach 13 billion, what are 8 million, billion already. E kaka wo koi ko agenda ke lo pi nga che ke ba ke ni pa ne ke lo e ke the family ko wer pe a cases de koi pa ko mana li ari ti dire ke unya lo le nong lo ye fi ta wo koi ko lawyers ke ga che pa jama I don't think I don't to Louis community for a while ku ga chen cases chan ko ko kong ping ge kong lo nong de ni chon marriage counselors or relationship advisors I che ge doi la ti ye pa straight away ga nang chi 12 month na cha nang 12 month ka ba divorce to a lot of people don't do that because divorce is very costly so in a pick to in the de facto relationship or big che at all so but what happened is I know cái cho marriage counselors are phải ba phải tuổi chuyện mediations cái chỉ có anh yên đối phản đa chuyện còn na chứ phải kể cái nó có qua bé để kể có qua chừng chút cái này chỉ rõ bé đời đôi cũ cái này khiến coi bé bây giờ biết chưa với coi của cái biết chân bật được mà giá mà nó biết cái này nhiều gì quá mà nó sẽ là raise out of cái đến cho single parenthood because single parenthood cái này chỉ nên a lot of issues nó bố mới chạy nó là còn với nó bố mới the boy crisis, why our boys are struggling, what we can do about it. And I told Dr. John Gray, which yeah, Dr. Warren Farrell, we for Dr. John Gray and Bully men are from Mass, women are from Kenya. And Chen don't give me the talk or Chen be the Chen get around to Chen me the guy Chen enough support you from both support you can do it in Ichigan. In the case of financially cannot afford a certain thing because number of you are quite big weight and all, but they don't get a lot of needs. The core again, 8 years it money, but now like a deal maybe are teenagers, it costs a lot of money. And one the berries. And no report about the school is a little bit berries from the age of 0 to high school would cost a parent. Man talk about each 230,000 Australian dollars. The man talk so che ka school to ka che ko ka kan chi jamada expenses ka woni ga 10 billion pa che dun mana no ga yin ga ya che bai bela le mana ran to welfare for example a chi ka chi ga bela ko kan a lo ke lui stop ko welfare mana no ka lo ko che ra che yin bi mana sa na ran chi lui mana sa yin chi tum e chin lo ko lo do there are certain job requirement that you have to do in order for you to be in the work out wala ko niya niya wala ko niya niya ngong ba na jawa pa na Melbourne homelessness at dire okay because of economic issues te wo tin ka so anje ber ku na nong te ken na wen sa de question and answer de ko lo pur ka ba dia ko bare ngari na repeated baba be na ko be answer ko ja ka
No, thank you so much. I want to call like you appears network network long day and do marama, but everything else it was very well understood and people are really comment there. Yes, John, we're doing Chalwele. So the government
thinking about
incentive, yeah, the government incentive programs. I mitigation for sure for the failures of capitalism and now tong jeng ke capitalism a system where in the market la took get determined, you know. So now bo one ku ye ni chin be pela read ka cham ko ja read more than ko lot chin pel. So ka kuma ja ben ku be ko chin pel buga ja ben, you know, buga jor ko otherwise a system when ran ri in ke ri ran chu kwa in ke kwa more in gran mana na no du kan du ki ran no du kan du in ka jo ko luoi kwa ke ja do mo ke ti ne ku jo mal du jo kwe din jo kwe ku ko ka jo pir dadal ke chit ka kuma jo ben ku je yam yo chin ke tin kor benen risk risk caused by that you know that system so that system ngong ji ja be ngong en ga en ko dien ji kwet kun ya wan ko 10% people ji kwet ka ja ni
Thì
pin
đi
la
về
ko
đuôi.
ai wa so ke ko dien kon ke ko ju ji ngong bu ga ja lo wude yo wa a be ju re okay ke incentive at te or policy
Yeah.
at te be ke be reduce na ki be li ke incentive at te big be so
Cái
e
bom đi.
lu la ko la ar pin no bana na we ko ko nya ki war be China no 40 years of one child policy where akuma want to depopulate the country and make a policy that you know you have women to at this otherwise you know na the midiki kind punishment economic punishment and other you know political punishment that you get so it reached to a point and it was a good thing for the government to control people to elevate poverty and get it and get the wealth with that policy. But a black can unintended consequences. Okay, you be on what call you put a policy, call you society when near been I think which is the man ya did ka kan na buto bia kuna ya dukai wa en ka lu keep for 40 years that policy ka lu ran e be ru jo ju dan dia and problem to be in the community at the lu ka mitigate man so war chen dia li go economic or marriage go che ngade go che interesting nong dia because na tia ni ti ke pi do la ra ti ke den ba to ke yin tro lon pin na jara lon pin ka no ru ju chi lang kor ke ko dia so ke ru ju ke ang ke yin ting tong yin nong yin pi ra pe yin ye jur wo ku lo ra pe ni gwe ku pi ra pe so that system ba do beri yo wa until we be reverse wa na ko yin kare bi diar bi yin beri yen wo so at diar ke pani mana bela tinin ke ni awan bi along in Australia wala rat ne man te ne pan to of na Canada and US it's all you know the system regulate it's actually going now against you know it's yes so man in Canada for example the workforce at a core lui ka chin a core ka bara chin ko di ka ba ta di haraji because economic area raj ka chin diar ko ko of course ben diar ko chol ton na la africa big la bi ko bu lu ke sin ke cho wa yi bo chen yar wo e jan bu ben bu system ba de bu be bi jor ko bu be bi di which are low which is not good, not bad so we ko e kam lu ko de e bu ko liu nyin that one work at the system and this system era lot era got to ben to most of the people but because what a borrow war and having conversation you turn and e book I can you be ran with me that one of the other walking for negative consequences for positive consequences
Actual
so
brain training.
yes yes that is also
Actual
another agenda yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. We're not got to comment. I love it. I love it. We understand. But yeah, I like it.
Okay.
What are the positive impact of the incentive? What are the negative impact? And how and how they impact families and communities. Point of take it away.
Can I
Yeah,
add something up
not
what I've been saying?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, one thing.
Yeah, internet connection I want very shaky a little bit.
Before like any other. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kuma.
never will do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. And wait happened.
Yeah,
By charge
maybe.
relevant.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
In the meantime, Alakiri, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the like the system it can be really can take a lot of time to understand, and given the situation that capitalism might in, so you have to stay awake and make money and pay the bill keeps you busy. That's the one thing about systems, and keeping you busy with your day to day, so in time to really understand the complexities of the choices you make. But again, I chuckle with that now. If you really understand and you know how to navigate, you have good choices low for your personal life. And I know it's easy to see the global impact or the community impact. However, decision making in Colorado and the core systems that I get. Like I studied marketing, and the marketing and psychology I love hand in hand, which is a message targeted to individual. How do we make this person do something, not just make them do something, but make them think it's their decision to do something. You know what I mean? So mass manipulation even a goal from individual by social media or targeted advertising. And a lot kuba idea always sell nangin, not just the market but the government campaigns who promises who all that. It's all selling, it's all messaging. Now can tapping kuba critically think about your future, you might buy into things that are working against you as a person.
Against you.
So
True.
I really want people to be advocate for themselves. A Corbea community advocate by all means, but it's very complex to change minds of a lot of people. You don't have resources to do so.
True.
So I ran a big U-turn message. The small way to do that is to make choices that are not going to work against you in the future, and that's understanding how these incentive systems are working and how they can affect you now. Lord, like in this circumstance, can Iran absolutely. I don't have the reality coordinating me. And you need to think about, okay, in the future, how is this system going to help me? And the very actual research. Research is looking up numbers. Every country and in their government website. This information you get out there. What is the cost of living? And the cost of living to projected beyond in the next 10 to 20 years. The same way you plan your career. What is the economy climate, Tony? What is the political climate? You work in the future for me that if I make a decision right now, my future will be secured. Well, in this time, I think it's really secured, but you can try and make informed decision. Awan, I see you are back, so I'll give
Thank
it
you.
back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Now, I can be whipping at it.
in Penko.
Thank you very much. You know, when brother Sigaran, I think they like Cholagan, they are quick. Yen in Challenge, John, where do we get teaching where do yen up my agent cage design that and on. Agent and age design to get on the regular Louis by in carpet at age Louis. The Lian Piava can not quite a merchant. They again make a many incentive packer. Good for the economy. Because we're going on good at it. Good at it. I remember 2009, Jennifer financial crisis of 2008. Kuma dan Australian or another job camera to the prime minister, $900 trillion released and look like we're going to stimulate the economy. So các cái year nào cái bữa giờ đấy thì chỉ là trên nào cái trên vụ bảo tôi cái này trên market đó là nhau cái vụ cái chỗ lâu khác chứ go cũng go cái đấy economy của chia về sao là so on trên vụ cái gam đó là people went and start spending go business guys start running again so cái economy cái yếu cũng mà cái loa cái economy em maintain khi nó cái đấy đến cái mà đấy có cái đấy cũng đi thì cũng nó có chỉ nhớ là lúc mà One can go away Jim Panama children cái chol I have got a point. The whole understanding, my understanding of the or marriage to help one another. That's it. Get in got it. We can keep better. Kui mo ene ke support be a provider in getting near thing vessel young day to mo ene ke ra de chin di re de kai don ba ke yen ke chen bla ra tin te ne chan mo ja me chen ti am ye chin ko lo thum ba nim do ale yi ra de chin be di re che be tin te e ke na che dal bla yen ru ku chan mo bla di ba na ke na che ba be de yo ro pi ngare ene ke cho mo je dang mo de to ke che dol che do de nin ke nam ke che bunya de mo lo ko a chi ku ne ke be ba ga ba do ale ke pi ra lo ko le ra de ri ti te ya ma cha ke ne lo ko pi ba e ka ke ko a che ya mi che la ri ku ne ke child domestic violence ko ko da ri ti de ama cha ka la ke be pi ko war ke a ke something to do ke economic issues ga ke ba ke e ke chi ri ko ko yen mana ken be a big fan of child dowry but dowry chu yo man ko chen wer ya yin ya ko mo tiak ru yin mo ke de tiak ru ta wal ke ka ga lum nim pin ku chu dom chu ku yir ka ra be chen ke tin be dum je pe ta na je la ba ya le ta wal ke ngong lo nyu no a chen mi ra pion to chen happiness do ten wal chen ke ngong la nyu nam da wal ka je to ke chu de wal ja ne na ko ngong ke ga ko dai cái chỉ cái nó có qua cái này cái cho chăn đâu rồi mà nó achi ya gallery nhiều quá mà nào là tập cái topic de ben wa ba jam da ma do wa kara nhiều cái jam tin ko era lo chi ke mo en na cái ting la no ya dan cái tu wa pa no wa je cái chi ro no ya so cái này na chi ngong a be mà na ti ko ri mà na cái phi la na ko chi ko ngong ka ya ko da nyang ma cha la a cha cái tin chi wa ter ko le mo chi ko le cái ti mo ga do cái ti mo ko ko ra ti do wa no cha yo chi cái gì là có bài à như vậy cái bài là không số cái chỉ là cái chiều qua bất kể cái của cái piao bu cái cái bên hát để thì chặt nên cái chỗ cái ra đấy ở đó nó có lẽ nó một một cái chi cũng bị lùi của lâu giờ nó mai số nó mới chỉ nó bây giờ mai số cái chi luôn cái thiê của đồ cái university chỉ đợi chân bởi vì có cái chi cũng bị lùi cho nên nó lên lùi đó nó có cái gì là tem cái yeah ada bài cái ra đấy để chỗ cái mình có cái là muốn chiều rồi do là uni với cho nên chi cũng bị lùi của ada cái tem cái ý còn sẽ cho nên là đâu có gì muốn nó bị đó bukan này chỉ là kia cái chi nó mà đi pension các bác là nhiều lắm nhỉ cả cái quả chỉ còn cái là cuối giờ thì tới bữa này cho nên là còn cái đâm vào cái quý của giá của cái này đang cái gì cái hiện miệt khiến được là bên cái kia mà na giá gạo mà này cái gì của miệt chỉ đi cả na chỉ cái đi nó giảm cái là nó chỉ của ya cái ví dụ là chỉ vô phiêu vào đấy thì gì là cái chỉ của chỉ nó miệt cái đó wo yo lo ran de jala mi ga da tem ja ko cha di bi ati ne che na bi ati ne che mi ko bi le wo la ba che le ya kar go ya na be ke kor ke cham e ta la ji clean up ro re ba ya mi de ke ti ne che da ke cham cham so ke ye ke na che ka yu ko da ai ti ne ke nyo le jal ko na ma de bi ko ba ka ja la be na ne ke cho ga che ga ti so ka ne ko ba financial assessment ko a loi or cho financial risk ba ko ga ting ye bu ga to yin de mi dan pa nó mà nó sao ai mày kiểu có cái vấn đề nó mà chẳng có mà nó ai mày còn cái này là hỗ trợ với thịt là ít thôi chứ cả với miếng mu bà mà nó chỉ bé thôi cái này phải bu cần bu có ai yêu có của giá tay lối lối quá mà nào qua cho là đi mà nó rồi mà nó cái chi nhìn cái rồi có lùi family đấy cái này cho người age của giá có lùi disability của youth work của cái lùi uba ala nang cái chi tay đi cho mình cái làm chết thôi của mình ra tâm mình cái miss ku pyoj by the way nga tida war pyoj su na kana na ndo pyoj ba ngul bula pyoj su ke ku sara me na la bane chen ko ga mi tinga ke la la chara jwan because pyoj ba ke go ka pin ke ler ke ga la pyoj we sport we ke chir man social activities ka kor ba ya very productive ku ga en ke pya bu ke chen mar a go ke tan pir mi ko ne ya ke chaw wer ke tam ke ba we chana mar chana ko ga mi ko na go ga be nya financially and also ba ke ta ya dang pi de actually now the bug na chaga tot together I don't advocate because wear but na je nang ti wear ko we che mar ba mi ko na tinga to because the kid needs you aka bon wo guban wala the big chill ne way you know the tan don de dan bi chill bi chill pi we to tin pi de ne ke ne ge te ne ke pia tin so you we do an elba bare in one mat ye na che ku mai na no ge de kin intended ko ben nang ri ga no ko ba yen ka chi ko ni la de của em quên là đúng mà nó có một cái ra cái bé này thì có lần đối cho bài có người ta rồi cho bài mà cái phần gì nào cũng mà bên nó của bạn nào cũng mà chỉ bên một năm bình chia cắm cho một riêng chỉ là riêng cái này Rio ya mi chila nge jo mi ji ko non che ke jor ke le la de ke bu la ye pe ga kuma ene me ke chu pi chana go nam la ma ra ka yongen ra ka dui ra ka cha no a ka be la yin hut ken ko mi ka mana ken ba la pa na pe to man ke a mi ya ka pinge pe ka man majority of the ma pe ka man ke ku war wa ka situation mi da men to chi yen pa de na kuma ko bi chin mi ke te ya ko pe ba ke te ya pa ni 2 bedroom is get te ya do an men to ga da nya cha ba le la so yen ki jira lo ya ki police cha pa la rate cha la rate because men to ko run pa ki jan pa den ko ta pa ti bài với là nhiều cái phòng yi tra của nhau của ngô bên là chỉ cái lâu rồi có mà cái chân đó tổng đều không cái chân gọi bù đan cái khác à khiến bảo là phải là khi đó là quên cái lấy quên à khiến bảo là phải là nông nghiệp sau khi bên em cuối là để chỉ tao mình em cái chỗ cái đang ngay chỉ đuôi cái gì trên cái này trên power because bài từ real bài là chỉ tới được cái cuối thôi à tôi yên đồng qua tôi được with so trên đồng cái này chạy cha lên cái này cho người start student quý chỉ cái này Queen lùi Queen financial power cái nín chủ đạo phải cái ta nếu bớt cái này chỉ phải lén phản nhau là thì biết là có rồi nói chỉ lần gì nó cái cao phải chứ cần anh em coi có mình đó rồi anh cái degree mà nó chỉ nó phải không mình có degree rồi phải không và chỉ về chỉ niệm lấy rồi nó rồi cái gì kiến công đuôi cái rồi nó là cái là cái gì cũng quên cái chuyện gì cái ya có rồi lấy thế cái cho bu rồi cho financial cái individual của you community ấy gọi là individual cái đàn cho cái nhất thuộc quyền cái đàn bên là cái cái chỗ bu được tí thì đang đền bu được quen và đã chẳng nhận bu được phải chuyện của câu ấy chứ you trên đảo ý là cái này cái giá tiền thì nó is social media đó là chỉ có cái cả anh chỉ biết bu được tí này cái cả phải với chẳng là
No, you can bear in Kenya jam. We still have 30 minutes. Jam a lot, yes, and I just want I think about the other category very clear. Our people need to really understand current incentive and use them for their own good. I can hear very now one that government was supporting koi win ngong, but koi ngong ke ka kine bela loy ke to win bene ke gro bebe tin ko big lobby and in John I well comment that our to be worked in wabo in a collectivist culture, in a social culture, wabo could tell capitalism kwa ken kujati. That's why now ben ke kati ga yen ka incentive ben work or mu ayo ka bebete. For example, a lot of Canada and I talk community organization. Ko to welfare system ya kuma yen incentive ben go kula su brand to lo groceries ke won tin dun cha kuma bebe yi bela gam community na ti din pan don wi tawi lo ya ko lo ku twar I think intention yin che kon yin kin to right assuming that an to welfare system ikono no mi ka tin ya kuma yen an 100 ye ben tu ye announce I think it is la way. You know what I do. I do. You learn now for you and can man do what I don't know man you bungo cham. Because it is called a reader. It been able to watch our pampa every chada achin. But then because our social mindset, our collective mindset, they got bogu char away. And then now you could dig a door. We ain't getting love with me big jolly chin or big like you cockle dum get outside because incentive by you around very incentive. I go this kula ku yini man the incentive go la lui karaj kula very like the chain of incentives that we really need to understand. So and I mentioned some of things that we are dealing with in this capitalist incentivized system. Eh, 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 so your cultures keka lui deal can work and some of these cultures keka you ten kalwel work or ping work or you ten support yaka information share is that book one in jalo or point one in book what you cook what you been different system and it can work out by whom period you know what you better you know country right now and country and economic policy and social policies policies abukako cholo cheri man homelessness and like you where there is so much homelessness crisis ne ya one quality because of family breakdown and ke family cholo breakdown and ngong echo so cuman rura ke emasculated social agenda feminism on pn feminism west and kajam and tine ko bidiar big big chola workforce a big la big economy big boost e ku che dia chi be a di da rit che luo go ko pin no big tio I think dia I think bela lum de the pia de and your pana it ni man or dia to in that space what ni me fresh e ko kola go ya go en ko no mo ju ju kweta man ke yo ja chala lu aliaj and this and twin and mu me kwala makta ya ja lo de kan go dia chilo. Like I don't need to go and stress my and lo no career to long way lo ni chin go to London wari ya lo mi ku batonga pura on mama. It's easy. But lo ni an jalo jan you computer you ku meeting kwala deal with different energies, different ba jalo aras ba jalo ben and che exhausted. Chala near ye be ja to no man family breakdown che go ti be ki pia ya din ki bo ti la aras. Like bo ki mo duro ke che bo a wuru ta for bro like this society is not good for women, it's not even good for families, and because of economic and the economic reality too often there's nowhere we're going, we will live within it. So what we are doing here at the youth and kubu one million kubu wa you pen you pay. I could be 1 million could be kati kwan ben ko en ko encourage book a tower pure. It don't win chene ke wa baham bu ya la cho lo use man for example if na ni abule I give myself 1 year one to this system na next year and better thing kuloti yenga liu yenga trobi betin has for help come to you and ask for advice lo na one call on kwa you know how to system how do I do that, where do I get empowerment information, what book to read value here what here what you know place bala tin bala luya china goyara you how do I ace my interview, how do I do this so that one Louis so ka ka lwelo ke ketena an ti be ke de chat ko but la kerin in never be to in ku bugulo into our U-turn messages like the way forward now no ran to if you have any question from the chat please feel free to ask Kijia work how how the capitalist system economic incentive and how it is impacting our people. Chimana, like those system ala incentive, chimano incentive ne lura la kir kakuma. Alu relate can crisis of the boy child war kakuma. Daman dan wan nira ke chiju sukule. War ka kor bigi nyir chola sukule chan chike bigi be bigi rier because nyir ka go lao te sukule le ka yen kan ben ke garir sukule na nyale la sukule sukul down mana ni wuze nyal ke tio rura ni ye ina ga be ti aga ma ku nyir ke ka ke du pa ni ke bi la ti aga bi le ke ta la ngweru bi ko bera er bi ko bitu so some of these incentive are good but I know negative consequences so we ka ga lo ke so kur we ti ko ga junu bi na ko pare si lo ke yang chaba ber ke nyir incentive because ko rur ti ga empower go ke nyir ga empower bi ti so some of these incentives are working against us.
Part
Lots,
of the population agenda. Part of the population agenda to be more no big jam na good na if yang maybe let yang don't say something yes we need to make you go or not that I'm with you.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. The intentional policies and how we take them towards a deal, and I agree with you. The system achieve friendly to family, like baka ja tok sukula tok baglo la tia low scam families back home be dawre to kwed bi ba kan bin ku jagla du jagni mamu mo te chinga tangen we magan ni la riro um, for sure. Yen law, yen system can chena they are encouraged because Louis it was not thought through in my opinion. Achara being could be well okay. And that's how I know it's in the best interest of women. Now I being to design a workplace that is in the best interest of women. Edeka can really do 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and that's just minimum. Na rare to expensive. A big go like in the cheap Vancouver, the cheap Toronto. Actually, I will survive with one job, at least two jobs. Now your family support the bed how you know quite a back home I will depend on you. Tell that man go live. I'm telling you, some people are not single by choice. I think that man now by jala you paying you jam kaka ni when you are thinking about money stress is not easy. It is not easy. But yeah, so I don't have the solution. We'll figure out. Please drop it in the comment. What is your solution about this situation? um, and how can you survive in the system is what we're talking about. But yeah, absolutely. Carol, I cannot. I am tired, so we need to figure it out soon.
No, I should figure out, get our jet. Need to be they are you know, be designed, they are run to, they are financial abuse, actual financial violence. And now
Yeah.
they give women reason to go to work. Young man will. Yes,
So
flower,
yeah,
now you kill team, you get the arala thing. So I know what to want to learn, you get, or you book or be at the so it
Yeah.
was well thought out and in work. You know, and agenda dear when it jamaritia quality jaga tau and no. More you are see now what you had to pray what why am
Actually, way
and
out.
then also
That when you
that's
quality.
also contribute. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they also contribute to get look at financial incarceration, or what I call castrations of men. Especially with which you are contributing back to the community, to the family. One of the thing I'm with Janet and among families, but I'm took and Dr. John, Dr. Warren Farrell, with Dr. John Gray, you can really put it in. Khi cho album mới bị chế lùi bài bị chiến kia đó nhiều cái nó cái gì bài em một cái era lôi cái chuyện của bài era lôi chi that man is not a man enough who can one of the things you know boy special number na chi lùi lần tiền or you cannot provide your family with the financial enough financial support cái chơi với grumpy của cái này one of the things có gì vậy ra nó cái chuyện bây giờ là
and
bằng cái bằng đấy.
okay. Sorry.
Nó rất
I
là
wanted to apply to our community before being into a deep research, just practical application. Man rur jui ke tene man when chen diar chen ke ben diar no show shala e chu wan show de lu ran ya de tin de cho Cecilia about child support lo yung rurien ke child support ke tin ke punishment on dia because and then there was a guy who came to that show the problem nong dia ko is that one who take chula te lo who chula dom who ka chi ber koromoch and then
yeah.
now mo ja ko ting who won him, right? And so it ting lui te na pa na ngere ta wu chi yin kwa chi beri yo to because in chen wu pia wi ka be no ngen e ka tong aram ka e ka mo ja la blo ko ting pa ni jen who will see him ka and a provider de. So I just want to add to
Provider,
that.
yeah.
And that's why now
Right.
there is so much divorce pa na e kwa la pa ke yi ti di arun ko bu ka mi o chen they feel good because na e ting wi yin ja ting yin e provider ma ka yin te lot.
But again, war bani jeng mo jega provider when get protector of the families.
Yeah.
You are gonna get war bani jeng biti bo mo believe by changa one thing there could view by the work ni ti mi la dura kan adura no how good can you rap for chel guna to mo ko changa ku ri chak chiu ga ru yo ko mo ja to by nge cho cái đó cái điều cho bo mo bị to by the wal ben ko bi by to cái điều ra ne ti mane lo ko cái chen mar karo ko cái family den cái ra ne but đôi khi đó mà the incentive của cái giá tôi cái cái incentive cái giáo của mai cái nuôi bé có cái đang áp đó đi rồi chứ mà cái nào còn lại chơi chơi đi chơi in power chính chơi in power đó in nó cái con nó string kia attach to it and bên bên mi của bạn đi bây giờ đó nó cái chia ra nó cho Henry Kissinger cho lối cái đây mà vấn đề là cho Henry Kissinger report in NSSM 200 in 1970s 1974 yeah na chi China chi bula trick ya na cho Henry Kissinger bula in China na gamba population ba take ki wo bula le ke cho World Trade Organizations ben wala lu ba ya lu trading in other part of the world we buga allowed ya dang da to participate in a business international business or international market so can I chi China chi bula China by the way 40 years ago was one of the poorest countries in the world any operated Chilman Africa kan so China chi be go government ne chen population de bula take yen bi yen ke den one child policy be introduce e ran chol Henry Kissinger wan to ogni secretary of state of United States of America yen ke bogen this wicked idea of depopulating the world that what are be re pe They want to reduce the population from 1970s to year 2000 to all the 3 billion. But Akira Babel. So on China but I'm gonna work at the Kuol China and issues kind of population the koi means that you population of body that you deal and I get your way then other countries, the so-called least developed countries or third world countries, they call it now. Akabala treaty and then not Chaco population to reduce a while. Akabuya only in eight, we call it food, yeah, the money depending on those hand out. Okay, again, you have to reduce the population by your contraception, by reducing your country with the other population reduction strategies. Be a puma impose on people. And I rage a cake to all. You can win to a stop we be young at population be struggle be crying out we I have a thing where I give them a lot of consequences human poverty on Chilolo or famine Ethiopia Bangladesh India baby you and catching a target can be affected the same thing along the nature developmental age in Panamanian countries in Africa and you got material free but I'm not going to hit you who is string attach countries government achieve crumble woman also a lot of countries now are struggling financially because they cannot they are I could bear it into a debt where did we set up it you get when you care for jala akala trap so we are going to na chen ke yen ko chike free ke ka ke to it kun be bi chon yo naman so you ka ko ya free ka you lo ma du ke lo mare ene ke ba sen ka ban le ke na no ge chatting ke lo kuma ka ke pya chire pya ya para no ga ide to chukan dora liberated by independent economic liberation and economic independence is important than by depending on the system. System I think it's really but I tell you point work Louis. We about do it for the rest of your life kin chụp cái là chụp cái salary so cái đến cho wages ta chưa phải chụp cái bạn đang business bạn đang investment của cái investment cái chỉ cái qua nó cái nó ngay cái nó qua bu được cái quan cái nó này nói bạn này có cái bu cái chỉ có chỗ lo thì cái chỉ qua đó là cái in ra bao nhiêu ngon so we are going to them ko bu ko mai bu families ko bu ko strong financially bu ko ya thinking ya da ka wuce ko be ya ka wuce ko be ya cost financially you can plan your financial planning is very important mi ya dan ku ko ti ya dan why future then plan ya dan future then betul ni ya dan betul ya dan ban kind of financial cost so chin man the benefit na ko what look at your budget u mi man ba ba cái nó phải đồng bi u ku bi cái level chi cái kena yu kor bu ting ya ko dal bu la ba ra jala pinje to ga la bana le ngoma la gen ka bi ko ne ya na ke poor ko men poor be ya na ko le cry chen le na chi le ko ji ga che bo ne ga le ka na chi le tin ira ni chol Steve Beatles nang bung ne chol the boy how to raise the boys in the 21st century talk about this benang economic benefits bi met ke yu ke to ke chi family to in the area deal with it ela ko chao con wa cha con le ke so you bi ko raise one có nông trên gỗ mà nó có theo pin cái ya they can afford bigger you or bigger you anh nó mà nó bài nó mà nó cũng chỉ nó ngủ đó cái là cái gọi cái là cái lối cái ship cái nào nó cái gì đào thì cái cái bu finances của bu của ngã thì you cái young families có cái được tiền you cái support bu cái là những như vậy go che la ngon go che na cái wer ko be bi la wer mà nó ngon and I wait it the way that can get to get you to forget about near near by the way get your marriage economic okay business think about level it's not about like near forget it and near can I
It's
actual
our
last one
business.
business and again we were gala taji man kana kuma man because of business again again ping ne ni ne ga gera ji ticket ya kan kala rin ga geto in ga boche aje ya chan near obi ya to ga live cái chol cái chol share of assets and a lot of le jalo la kan le wer la chi bela twen ka ta ki ene ke reason ne ke war ene ke reason ne legal document ke ene ke core is all about business so ke you can would let you go for you waiting ben walk chen apya bugu families kwa chota apya bugu system akuma you use a mat ku du use are na bare nam le ko pin ka ko chi yu ya da ma bare why watch it gear man che ran ge ko pande mana sa ran ge ma chi beri gen he tek man ko ran ta kuma chin mana dia kan ga ju chare tin ga kar balle we cha ga no ba ga diet ko no ba ga diet ga feel free to do so thank you
No, thank you. And I like jam with Piata Rita, Joel Garan. So thank you. I
Thank you.
think it's very informative. So we're copying Christian work incentive, the incentive, I encouragement. We take a year and call your actually be our ways, be our, items, be our
Mm,
anything.
mm,
Kun ben yid ben some you could work and you work good, but I'll be any day ben you trap to wrong
true.
thing. So we're calling a chipping and yaki you this information is very useful. Please share wobble into U10 message. And before that I need to by my U10 message to ahead and then I'll ask you to say your U10 for beyond for U10 that you look about here. So we're quite a pink jam na you will incentive I globally. Human nature now and I government the pinum I look affect alu communities alu ka affect alu families alu ka affect alu individual alu ka affect and so while we speak about them in the context of Australia and Ethiopia or in the context Kakuma refugee camp and in the context of the future, Kichawan mentioned and I wrote a paper about it. I will come later on when I want to discuss UBI universal basic income. And the incentive that would be
Something.
don't for free and I know could be other but I know we discuss about that. But the message is hello, I think Krabach. I quit. The only place now Krabach, a warrior got the image. And in Katie and got there. But even warrior walk image, someone else is paying for that. So I think Krabach even has walk our talk image. We were paying huge price because I think like I feel like my most productive years, my early teenage years, I think I was just a Kakuma refugee camp. Miss Biden by age war pan jing Miss I economically productive by age of 10 kin chila do mi
True.
in the rag no more cool like you contribute economically socially and everything but kakuma there was no productivity that was going on and again school back and school few of us work our opportunities but majority of people now life then wasted like in by your youthful years like you have to in can life you can plan like that is the waste that is the huge price that you can pay and so it can grab back someone you have to pay for it even what one jam in our collective system okay chairman in one of our conversation actually yini ran ku ci dom du ciria or ken nye pure run ku non ko chen dum ken kan lo war ku lo ben ku babilim kayin you don't just come le mi o chen man ni tom yeni tira tom yo pa na america ku le ankor we dan di twa nyor ngo chera lo bala dom ran ka yi law you ko ni ke tem ga lo la wan ko ni la ku tem ne ke ane an kin konta pa ni je yi law ko ni ko ni tem ala ke ja tira ja tem ben din je yen ka si ku bin ga jalo ba you contribute and that is how our culture war na chen mo ku mi kwa ne cha ka ila na ra na o weekend to lo kwa ni men okay and then you get some milk for yourself and your children so someone has to pay for something and that is the mindset uh, that we are encouraging that take this incentive with grain of salt they are not really good in the long run they can
The long.
destroy you they have destroyed families they have destroyed communities they have destroyed individuals they have destroyed future for children so we just said use them, but use them responsibly and find a way to get out. And to get out is to get connected to resources that will empower you to move to a positive side of things. Because ke chong ma chi chop therapy for many years. There has to be a full stop. And that is how this U10 conversation platform came about. What you need you know young other communities. Yi Nigeria, yi Somali. I when I get in a book geography, yi Chinese and if the mall can take and if businesses can go also Sudanese watching South Sudanese mall in Canada, for example, there's not like a huge mall to go to South Sudanese man. There are many people watching politician block it here. We want a South Sudanese born politician who is in the national government. Aliu. Why is that? Why is like in big universities, why getting in big bank corporation, in investment sector, in entrepreneurship, we are not in the news. What is happening? I only meet go in the news get a crime law. Why? Meet go in the news I can know police can know. Why and what and one year why go in capable? Why meet get pin kuch? Why meet ben pinom gariot? Why can we be pinom riot? Then we say we'll start with conversation. And conversation like this, ke kaka when ben waka one liya bu watching map and work together. In Kerala be my U-turn message. Lakir, lem U-turn message and then I want to take it away.
Thank you very much.
Sure. One word, sustainability. So sustainability means choices, chakaloyo kula, the way of your life. 10 years down the line, will it work out? If it's not working out, I think the time is now to change it, and that way, you're not living day by day. You're living in a system. Otherwise, you fall into somebody else's system. And again, like my grandpa used to say, "Kirichi endu wangi tuwa kayandu." So what you think, you use your mind. What you use your hand on there. But now you use your brain to strategize. And will really satisfy your desires and make your life better. So I will leave it at that. Please utilize, put yourself, like apply yourself to think to be and pidu benegertin. Otherwise, you will be working for someone else. Yeah, I want to.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, the way I live for die. I know you want young. I will pound on board. I will put a carade. Chinamudi copy. I will to be data. Casual key, you know, around the work. Quite change you could watch you try. At the marine night, normally, you don't think they could use Europe, chopping, Punyai, to be showing depending on that. When you call Google win, I think you can quite undo human system of Kumai. Khi mà nó có cái giá trị coi coi nếu người tiền lưới cái nông cả quá thì phải giá cho nó ở cái school mà về miền quê cái chỗ là cái giá trị school uniform thì school cái nhau ở cái chỗ cái nông đấy thì cái dân coi thì school cái miền quê ai chơi cái nhiều anh đó mà to the point là nó có cái nhiều mà đi chuyên rồi cái giá expire cái gam phải giá cho nó mà nó chỉ nhiều thôi cái à có là lưới cái nào cái tiền để đi vô đó ra được cái đuôi cho đi là gì thì nó đấy anh nói cái chỗ dependent mindset đấy cái này anh chỉ là cái là nó quen when get ande ken ku pe je kwa chal mi ya danga dai ma dir ke dai na ting da mi ke ti ba di ti mi ku mi wa ba dir ke we yin ki ne da ke ra do ra ke system ke mi ga ba dir ya when ga ba ke chal ya ba che a chi ro be le ku mi ga ba tol bi ya ni ken ga yo kwa ba le te ne tam ku bu ro ta mi be the system when no ke yen wo du ro ke ya ti ke ga token tam ku ra bu ro chore ko wa community ne chana lwel kana nong rana je pinga ye community dar yo kata ne kola nen chen wo ya nanga ti po chu ya la yo bu lo rom lu kene ra loy na yi single in dum wu ji ran ga ko ra la gor ge single ga ti ko kin we ar be ala town the system of ke je we bu mana ga bla dom yin wa police ku ja pa na ko isa ene kamera bu te wu to beta wu single camera ku lu reporting da wala na je ban pa da wala chola ting ba wu to anh trong nó có cũng cái mà nó cũng mình đến hiến là quên cả cái của nhà nó cái cháu cũng mà còn biết phải nhỉ có cái relationship bé là phá cái chuyện này chưa có bắt chàng nó gọi đồng với chị em cái chỗ cái đang miêu cái đang ai bé là cái đang chàng nó gọi là gì nó cái cái còn cái nằm lão cái cái well thì I can be again up cái là doing well in life. So incentive ka kuma cái dân gọi gì pa nó kuma cái này chơi great family cái house cái này dân kuna berle ngi chwe ne jera kwal lul ka ala ke ru ba bere ka tin ni in be ba la ka do an ba chi be lu win da in chi control in chi la ba la wala de yana ka u dia ke yen ta wala ka no ka tem chu so ka ke yo ko ko in chi in to ki chi condition in chi ki tu chi tam ku bu ru ta be be in the system ku bu liberated ku bu ru ta chore era le we na chi lo ke ka pya te non ko nyo ke ra de ben le bra le ku ne bra cho pe ba na ni ha ba ke chin lu yen pada nong do duri ni kita barami so chul do ku kara chin ora na bana nong ko pia ngene ke wana ko chin ga pia ngene ke wer lu ku tene e wer na ra na ban ku ga chin community to lu single hour agenda wala lu ku lu ke personal platform ke the educational platform wen ko ri wen ke support bu ya lo na nong forum lu ku ja lo face to face le je pia ri wen ke de lu pa ka waja pia de dong online ke wo wo chi lu ku ri yo na ko ku ja la ki wen we ko dai them ku bu information ku messages you will do it ke ga no ga di da chira let ku ga chira ni kan che wa ni kri ban da you know da pin ten we ko ger we ni ke di ge de ga ka wa ga di ke ka ero da nge bu bi et ku ta de conversation chu lu ga cham ken wa jam ken a chira de cha ta ki chi ken pe ta ken ge ne ko lo ko di ko ko be conversation da ma de di lo di de ro dum dan ken ro de chen be pin ka pet tar chu ran ya ja ro yi la ka ko wa da lo ko la di bu so ma na iran chi chi ni be di ke chi ni be pin ke pet ken ni da chu ran ya ja ro ba di la vậy đó mà giá cho cái tí thế so you jam ni kawun ko tí kawun tum ne bai ko ante wo ka tin a gere tin ka wo cha chi ma pe ka wo cha ni ara ka wo cha good people pa ne you sudan de wo ka du chen ke ne ge to ya wo ba ja ba jam topic ko you ten a great platform. I believe that kichi ni kichi jir or kichi ti or kichi ke lo e pya la re ya successful. So when you get talk lo youth and found it keep it up. I know a young mother. I know me take or kera gambel and children lo. Thank you so much for amazing work. Thank you like then with the other youth and members talk ke Louis program be initiated. Thank you so much. It's not easy. I know but jam take care of bara ja gam achel ko ala jila rin yalla ken ko yen ke spirit ko ko no younger generation I believe we younger generation can do this youth and I believe we can make our community great again. Thank you very much. Quality jira mute ko
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I want to call and thank you for all those that are watching. I want to call us said, go and make a U-turn and make our great community great again. We were great people, walk up, be Pinyam Korea, water, Bible, giants of the Nile. And wherever we are, we can go back to our origin and get the powers and unleash them to the world and make the change. And that is why we are here. So, Nyaling Duan can work. Now I wake up, good morning, ko good afternoon, ko good evening, and call a name good night. We you come out.
yeah